What was the feeling in the late 1930s when you were preparing for eventual commercial broadcast of television? Was it very exciting?
Oh, sure. It was a very exciting time.
And were you involved in the first transmissions from the World's Fair?
No, no, I was always back in the laboratory making the tubes for them to use.
But in effect, you and your colleagues worked on that system that was unveiled in 1939.
Yes, well, we in our laboratory and in the by that time the work had been expanded to where the tubes actually used in the cameras were made in another plant, because we didn't have facilities for making, with only 8 or 10 people involved. But it was the same basic system.
What was the atmosphere like there? I mean, did you feel a lot of pressure toward making that happen?
Well, by that time the pressure had been taken off of us to some extent, and taken over, as I said, by another plant where they made the actual tubes that were used in the cameras. But we were working in the background trying to improve from a research standpoint, trying to improve the performance of the cameras.
Of the camera. Were you there when it was introduced in 1939 in New York?
No, I wasn't there at the opening at the World's Fair. I was there and saw the cameras and receivers that were used, but I wasn't involved in the actual.
How was the broadcast quality of that initial?
It was fairly good. If you look back in the literature in 1939, you'll find an article in Business Week that says television, 1939 television year. And they...
and the plan was that after that initial broadcast that there was going to be regular transmission of
right.
And was there?
Well, yes, very shortly there. Of course, there was a problem of setting standards so that when they actually broadcast commercial programs, they all had to work on the same system. So there was a lot of maneuvering around, and I can't tell you exactly when the first broadcast on standards was made, but it wasn't too far after that, 1939.
So you saw very shortly after a commercial broadcast of all that you had been working on in the
right.
1930s. That must have been very exciting.
Yes, it was.